So, welcome everyone. I am Christina Johnson, a transformational nutrition coach and founder of the Emerge Weight Loss Method. And I am really excited to have Cindy here with me today. Cindy is someone who recently completed the Emerge program, and she agreed to come on and do this interview with me just to share a little bit about like her experience, the results she's got, everything she's learned. And I just love doing these interviews because I think first of all, we're so used to doing diets like Weight Watchers and, restricting calories and all these extreme diets. And so it's hard to know when you start a program that's just so different, it's hard to know what to expect or, what you'll have to do or what it might look like or even what's possible. And so I think Cindy will probably share some just practical insight into some of the changes she's made. But also, I think it's just really encouraging. Like she's gotten some pretty big life-changing results like she told me, and so I'm excited for her to encourage you and give you some hope for what's possible. So welcome, Cindy. Thanks so much for agreeing to do this.
My joy, my pleasure. I'm glad to.
Good. Will you just briefly introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Cindy Schaaf. I live in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm married. I have two sons here in Omaha and a daughter in Washington with a new grandson who I am particularly proud of. And then, yeah, I used to be a teacher. Love that. Was very passionate about it, but retired, and my husband and I did a bunch of travel. But lately, I've just been enjoying being a new grandma to my grandson, Rory. He's going to be 2 here in July.
Yeah, thank you. And he's a big motivation for you, isn't he?
He is. When Christina and I first talked, I said, I think my motivation is just being a new grandma. I want to feel good. I want to have energy. I want to play again. I want to enjoy him. And I had a knee surgery in 2020. I had a knee replacement surgery, and it really set me back. I felt like it took me almost 2 years just to kind of get back on my feet. And it was right during the pandemic, which didn't help. So I wasn't going to the gym or doing anything. And eating became a pretty big pleasure. So I ended up eating far more than I should. And so anyway, yeah, I just knew that the Emerge program, I had been on it about 5 years earlier, and I was so concerned about what everybody thought and how I looked, and I was like, and so I'd lost like 23 pounds. I was doing great, but I didn't have enough confidence in myself to go, oh my goodness, this is good for you. That's why you should do it. And anyway, kind of life gets going and crazy and got off.
Yeah.
So after this surgery and everything, I was like, boy, I'm not heading in a good direction.
Yeah.
I
What were
told, oh,
some of the like top, I don't know, concerns or the goals that you wanted to work on when you joined Emerge?
yes. So what Christine and I had discussed was that I was pre-diabetic. I had a higher A1C level. It wasn't within the diabetic range, but it was inching up there. And I was like, I need to change this around. The doctor said to me, well, just eat healthy. And I thought, well, that's easy said than done, because it's a lot to change your life habits and style and foods. And I just knew I needed support. And then I remembered back to all the help I'd gotten from Christina I wasn't called Emerge at that time, but it was different. But anyway, I just remember how that was so successful for me. And I thought, Cindy, why did you stop? This is important to get back on the bandwagon and do what you need to do. So
So you were
I
motivated by losing weight, but also really driven by the health issues, wanting to make sure that your health did not continue in the wrong direction. And
exactly. I thought, as you get older, hey, you count your time. And I just knew that with a new grandson, I thought, like, I want to be active. I want to be out there. I want to be happy and enjoying it. And I thought I can make some changes.
yeah, and will you share your age? I know you said you were willing to.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm going to be 70 in October.
Which I don't
And
think anyone will believe that you look 70. But I
well,
just
thank
think,
you, Christina, but I don't know. I believe it, but
yeah.
I feel like, yeah, age has, it's really important as you get older just to do all the work to take care of yourself. I was so busy as a mom and a teacher that I was taking care of myself was pretty low on the agenda. And now I'm like, Cindy, this is important because as you take care of yourself, you can help others and take care of them better. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I also, so recently then I went in for a 6 months checkup to my physician, and she told me that my A1C had just dropped. I'm not quite in normal range yet, but man, I am so close. And that just gives me the more motivation. I'm like, okay, that's my next goal.
Yeah,
I
to see
will.
the number, like that's a big validation of all the work you've done.
It was, they do a blood test, and the other thing is they have dropped down my medication now for my blood pressure. So all these things are just really helpful confidence builders that I was telling Christina too. I can feel it in my own body. I mean, I sense it. I sense just the weight loss and the difference, and I can
What
tell,
are some of the ways you feel it or some of the like just improvements that you've noticed?
Well, for instance, just like when I know this sounds funny, but when I sit down, I'm like, I'm just very aware that my stomach goes in, and just I feel lighter. I want to stand up straighter. I just feel like more my old self, and more motivated to go exercise. I just got back from that today, and
I love what you told me, like you're feeling the need to exercise now. It's not
yeah.
like this chore, this drudgery to go exercise, but yeah, your
Well,
body wants it.
one of the things you teach us in emerge too is to listen to your body, and that, people think, oh yeah, but we really don't. I think I grew up in the fast food generation. I remember McDonald's when I was young. We thought it was a
Yeah.
real treat to go there, and everything became fast and quick, and I feel like, so much has been done now to kind of show that some of the eating habits are just not good. And so, but to change that when that's your life, it's hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, so it's fun hearing all of these changes that you've experienced. I know before we met, like in December, you had your last doctor's appointment and you started making some changes. And then really it's been, yeah, you were been on started Emerge late February or March. So about 4 months.
Yeah, yeah. And since that time, since December to now, I have lost 30 pounds. And so that's a lot, I didn't even realize it. It just because I think it's really important to do it in a healthy way, and everything kind of like I lose this fast and lose this. Like I said, with everything, it's kind of in our culture to do things quick. But I feel like it's done in such a way with Christina, with the Emerge program in such a way that it's very educational. So I was trying to get on, and I would say, okay, I can just Google this and I can figure this out. But more I Googled, the more confused I got, because you hear this, you hear that. It's kind of very difficult but you have condensed the best information down and made it very accessible and organized and easy to take. Now there's a lot of change that has to go, but I think you really got to understand that, yeah, you're going through lots of changes, and that's going to be, you need to be kind to yourself. And I tend to be more perfectionistic. Oh, if I don't get it, I mean, I've been on so many different diets and tried different things, and yeah, I would lose weight, but then would go right back, lose weight, go back. And this, I don't want to go back. I honestly enjoy it more. And I food is tastes better to me. I just have in the freezer right now frozen grapes, and they're so sweet. They're like candy. I
Yep.
don't know. I
Yeah.
just
Who needs a candy bar when you have frozen grapes?
exactly.
And who,
I know.
it's things like that that people end up appreciating. And you would think, oh, who am I to think that, frozen grapes are a treat? But it really does start to feel that way.
Yeah, my biggest surprise was kind of last night. We went with a group and we were all watching the College World Series game. And, there was all kinds of stuff there. I mean, things that were like, I had to make decisions about. And so, especially a lot of things that I just knew would not be good for me.
Yeah.
And I had to think it through. And anyway, there was so much, my whole attitude about the food, I just decided I'll eat. I know not everything was perfectly healthy, but this is what I'll do and this is what I won't do. And I was like, wow, what a change up. I already recognized myself. I was like,
What would
because
you have done
really,
before? How would
what's
you
that?
how would you have handled it before?
Oh, I would have eaten all the sweet stuff. I would have taken at least, several helpings of something. I don't know, but this way I felt like I got more satisfaction out of the food. I think with high blood sugar level, which I battle, is that you get into cravings and then it's very hard to break that cycle. And I felt like you were so helpful in helping me to understand that that's kind of the body's response to high sugar. And once I started to understand that, I realized, wow, you know, um, that can cause you to crave, and then that makes you go nuts. So just
Yeah,
trying
you feel
to,
more out of control around food then.
yes,
So
yes, where I don't
uh,
feel that. I just, and it's so nice to not feel that kind of like I'm just got to have more.
yeah. So like when you were watching College World Series game and there's all that food there and you were just choosing healthy options. I know a lot of times, people are on a diet and so they feel like, ah, I can't have that. I can't have that. I'll just eat this little bit. And then they kind of feel like resentful about it or unhappy or like they're missing out. They feel deprived, or they'll just give in and eat a bunch of stuff because, they feel like they blew their diet. So I'm curious, I mean, for you, like when you were in that situation or where you're in other social situations, are you feeling like you're missing out, feeling deprived? How are
Well,
you
I
feeling?
totally understood that. Hey, you teach us too that, you can decide ahead of time when you want to take in something that you wouldn't normally eat, that's maybe high in sugar content or something like that. And I thought I have that option, but to me, I thought, honestly, I don't feel like there's anything. I mean, I'm not trying to put down the food, but
Right.
if there's anything I felt like was worth it to me, and I just honestly did not feel deprived at all. I just kind of took my water and just felt like, and I thought that surprised me. If someone had told me that would be true, I would be really surprised. I just felt like, hey, I'm making the choice, and but I don't feel like I can't make the choices I want to make. Another example is on Father's Day. We had grilling, and so I had all these kind of healthy options. And my sons and my husband love to go to Dairy Queen and get an ice cream cone. And I don't want my husband not to get what he wants on Father's Day, and my sons were all about it. So they all went and I had a great time and I enjoyed that they enjoyed it. But it
Still
didn't
went
feel
with
like,
them and you watched them eat their ice cream.
no, they didn't come back with it. They just
Okay.
stayed and had a good time together. And that makes me happy when, they do stuff like that. So, but I didn't feel like I wanted it for me. So, I don't know whether my food tastes are just changing. I can't, I mean, so much has changed in this last
Yeah.
3 months that I can't tell you
I think,
exactly.
yeah, one thing that I'm curious to hear your perspective, but I've heard you say some things over the last few months just about, I remember you saying in our wrap up call from Emerge that you're guarding your health. And it's almost like from what I'm getting from you is that your view on food is different. Like you're seeing food as like you can choose to eat whatever you want, but you want to eat food that's going to guard your health and, be like loving to your body. And it's not about hating your body and depriving yourself. It's about taking care of yourself. Does that feel true? It's just my
Yeah,
perspective.
that feels very true. You said it very well. I feel like I have always been a person that loves, like, this is my favorite time of the year when all the fresh produce comes out and fresh corn, fresh tomatoes from the garden. Um, and I loved a good salad. So yeah, but you can taste the flavors better and you can enjoy just the food that God has created is amazing. So I think I'm just actually enjoying the taste. Maybe I'm another part you teach us to be more mindful.
Yeah.
And I think I find myself tasting things and really savoring things and like there what is better than a good blueberry, you know? So and I find ways to just adapt around things that are something maybe that I wouldn't choose to have, but there's so many ways to with veggies. You can saute, you can, you can steam, you can broil. It's like, and they all taste a little bit different, and you can add different seasonings. I've got lemons and limes in my house. I never did that before, but I squeeze them everywhere now. I mean,
Yep.
taste pop up. I actually would say that I'm tasting things and enjoying things more. If that is kind of, hope that answers what you were saying.
Yeah, that does. Yeah, totally. I hear that a lot from people that they actually enjoy their food more, which is so surprising because I think people think, oh, I'm going to
Yes.
eat healthy and it's going to be boring and bland and I'm going to have to miss all my favorite foods. But again, you mentioned the mindful eating. That's a huge piece to actually enjoying food.
Right. It's not something I recognize that I did. When I was teaching, it seemed like my lunch break was more of a break to just find out, kind of get things finalized for the end of the day. And I was like, not even thinking about my food. I just put it in and just gobbled it down and went on with my day. And that kind of habit over a long period of time is not good on a person. And so, but now I'm retired and man, I'm just enjoying it. At first, I felt like, oh, this is a lot of more prep work, but I'm learning ways to cut corners and ways to, it doesn't take that much time to chop up a few veggies, and you can use leftovers, and I don't know. And my husband is enjoying the food too, so and my
That's a
family.
good point. Yeah. So your husband, when you're with your kids, they will eat the foods you're eating. It's not like you're making one meal for yourself and one for them.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not. It's something I think like broccoli is just something I enjoy. We had it with steak and broccoli, and I squeezed lemon in it and put in some Parmesan and tasted amazing, I thought. And so, yeah, just I even am challenging myself with new recipes, things I feel like would be fun to try that I like, that a new vegetable like bok choy or something that I haven't eaten very much of, or plantains. So yeah, I'm just experimenting. I think that's fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned the mindful eating, but I guess I'm curious. So, were there things about Emerge that, like, I guess what about Emerge felt different from other diets that you might have tried before? What's different about this approach or, yeah.
It's very well built, and like I said to you, there's like the modules you get on and you can do it kind of at your pace, think about it. It did help that I'm retired and had time to really soak in things. I'm sure that really helped, but it's also got two components: teaching you healthy eating and food and all of that, because that's critical to know, and then where you get your nutrients and things like that. But the other part is the emotional, and that was kind of a shocker for me. I was like, I didn't realize I ate so much emotionally.
Yeah. Can you talk
Talk
more about
about
that?
eating till you're like, not overly full, but you're just enough. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I could just tell right away. I'm like, I think I physically am full, but emotionally, I want more. And so it started to dawn on me that, wow, I'm eating a lot of extra calories, not because I need it, just because I want it.
Yeah. Did you notice any patterns like different emotions or situations or things that were driving the wanting to keep eating?
Sometimes I think like boredom, or just feeling a little bit moody, like lonely or sad, and like, let's check what's in the refrige. I'm sure there's something in there that
Yeah.
will
Oh, yeah.
perk me up. And so, yeah, so I feel like it made me start to realize how much of a crutch for my emotions I relied on food. And but just becoming aware of that made a huge difference. It kind of started to make me think more about that. Am I putting this in my mouth, and why am I putting this in my mouth? And um, yeah, so I would say that I still very much enjoy, like I said, food for pleasure. I just would say that I've decided to make other choices. And uh, like instead of sugar, I find fruit, and oh, very satisfying. And the thing about fruit, it has fiber in it, and I'm learning that boy, sugar and fiber are
Yep.
very important together.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, so I know in our last call you had mentioned just some of the key lessons you learned or things that you're doing that has been like most helpful for you. So I'm wondering if you could just share a couple of those things, just yeah, lessons you've learned or things that you're doing, new things, new awareness that you have that is going to help you be like successful long term.
Yeah, I definitely feel confident that I will be successful long term. I tested a lot because, when you're with your family, your old habits can easily
Oh,
slip back in. And I find myself, like I said last night, that was my big shocker. Wow, we're at a big party and it was fun and we had a great time. But I didn't feel like I had to, eat things that I didn't feel comfortable with. But yeah, I would say that I really developed drinking more water. Instead of other drinks or whatever, I just make the choice for water. To
yeah.
me, it's kind of easy because water is readily available,
Yeah.
and I just know I'm hydrating myself. So I feel like that's super healthy thing for me to do. Uh, I really make it a choice to cut out a lot of sugar. Uh, I feel like this is kind of not uncommon with a lot of people have gluten allergies or whatever. And I feel like, well, I look at it kind of like that. It's sort of like I have to really be careful when I do that because my body is not processing it like it should, and that's causing me trouble. So, and then the exercising, I feel like, hey, I said you look for other ways to give you joy. I know it's funny, but I think that getting on the elliptical for a while just gets, I don't know, endorphins. I don't know what it is, but it just feels good to move those muscles, and I'm thankful that I can. Overall, I would just say that I've formed a better habit of taking care of myself. Like I said before, teaching was my passion and being a mom and a wife. And now I'm like, wow, I think it's really important that I've got to still be a part of taking care of others, but take care of myself too.
Yep.
I feel less controlled by food, and I'm just eating more mindful and enjoying my food more. So I'm thankful. I'm very, very thankful because I feel like these things took me effort. And I think Christina will remember back when I first started, I was overwhelmed. I was like trying to follow everything and just, it was hard on myself. I was like, you got to do this right. And I had failed at other things before and I didn't want to fail at this. So I thought, I just worked really hard at but it was more of a matter of just getting into the rhythm and allowing myself to go, oh, okay, I've learned this and now I can learn this. And others in the program had shared about that you can't really fail because honestly, if you make a choice and you're sorry about it, well, hey, that's okay. That's part of it. You have that part built
Yeah.
in, and
Learning
then you
opportunity.
can just go right back on. And I feel like I'm just more in tune with my body, learning my body better,
Yep.
realizing that it's important to care for it and treat it well, but also, enjoy life.
Yeah. Oh, you said so many good things in there. I think it's interesting. You mentioned before you joined Emerge that you had some fears, and one was that fear of failure, because I think that's so common. I mean, most people, especially who come into Emerge, they've been on more than one diet, they've lost weight, gained it back, and like been on that cycle so much. And so then you dive in and you feel like, oh, I have to do everything perfectly because that's how all diets are set up. It's this all or nothing thing. And so it really is like learning to have more grace on yourself and to take it step by step.
can't say that enough. I just, with anyone I would encourage is that's facing, as you get older, you face more issues. I would encourage you to do this. I really would do it for yourself because it is just such a good gift to do for yourself. And if you can eat well, you feel well, and just enjoy life more, and get out there. And we love to bicycle, and, I love to travel. We love to just, do things. And so, but you have to feel good to do all that. And
Your
I just,
health is everything. I mean, that's why I loved when you had mentioned when I had mentioned it before, but guarding your health. I mean, yeah, our health is at the ability of everything.
yeah, I just remember in December when I'd gone for my doctor's appointment, and she said to me, well, just eat healthy. Like, as if it were just that easy. I thought, I don't know. And I have a friend who also is a nutritionalist, and she says, well, just eat good food. And I'm like, no, I honestly felt like when you're making life choices and changes, you need a lot of support, a lot of education.
Yeah.
And I love the group. We have a group too that you can talk to and share with. And it doesn't make you feel alone, because if you talk about your health too much and your weight loss or whatever to your family, they're going to like, okay, we've heard all
Here
this
she
before.
goes again.
But it is exciting to have this happen, to see and feel all these transformations. And so
Yeah.
And I'm excited it's happened too.
my husband was just saying he's excited it's happened too. I think he's always been great. He's a runner, and he always has enjoyed running and taking care of himself. So this has been a food adventure for us, and he's been jumping right along with me, because I'll cut up a bunch of food for, like, vegetables or salad. And that it's challenging, because when you eat more fresh produce, you've got to keep on top of it because things spoil quickly. But hey, it is so worth it, because the foods, the taste, the flavors,
Yeah.
it's really just so
You
helpful.
you've really like you just dove into the program and just yeah, followed all the steps and just got as much out of it as you possibly could. And it's been so fun to watch all the changes that you've made. And it's not like I mean, you were out of town in another place with family for an extended amount of time. And it's not like it was super easy this whole time. And as you mentioned to me, there's, you have struggled with meal planning and but
Mhm.
you never let any of that stop you. You just worked through the things as they came up, took it one at a time. And man, now just several months later, your work has paid off so much in the results, the weight loss, the health, the how you're feeling. I mean, all of that.
Yes. My family has been really supportive too. I think, that they have really rallied around me and recognized the changes that I'm trying to make, and realize it's for health reasons. And now I get to go out and see my grandson and enjoy him and take some time out there. And I'm looking forward to it, because I feel good, and I feel like, hey, we can go to the park, we can,
Yeah.
go walking, we can, there's a duck pond nearby, go spend some time there. Days are, you just have to savor your time. And I feel like this is,
That's such a
important.
good yeah, I think so many women feel like maybe it's selfish to do things like this for themselves, or they just they give so much to other people. There's no time or energy or anything left for themselves. But like what you just said, you can't be there for your grandson unless you're taking care of yourself first. And it's important to do that when it's possible, to try and carve out that time and space.
Yeah, I think this program helps you too to be more aware of the present. I think that you can enjoy just being together. My family made this for Mother's Day, a ratatouille. I don't know, it's a vegetable dish it's a French dish that,
Yeah.
and everybody helped. Everybody did it together, and we all had fun time, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, uh, I just feel like that the choices I'm making are making me healthier, and they're good for my whole family too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's always fun to see how other like family members get motivated and encouraged because they notice. like how good you're feeling and the results you're getting. And it is an encouragement to loved ones as well. And good for the
It is.
whole family.
It is. Yes, it is. And yeah, I highly encourage, those who are on the, oh, should I, shouldn't I? I think don't be too hard on yourself. There is changes ahead, but the rewards are great. And I feel like I will even know this more and more in the future because I am just continuing to work on those goals. And
Do you feel confident that you can stick with this and yeah, maintain this healthy lifestyle?
oh, definitely, definitely. I don't know. Like I said, for me during the pandemic, it kind of got to be um, just we didn't eat out always, but we just get food that was already prepared and processed and just I mean, I don't know. And so it came low prep, but the problem is that just it's not giving you all the nutrients you need. And for me, with the higher blood sugar level, that is just, it knocks your whole system. And when
Yeah.
you realize, like somebody explained it, like there is a fork in the road and you have to choose. And I was like, okay, I want this, but I need support to get this. And Christina's program is the support I needed and with the emerge. And I feel like, yeah, I'm super glad I made the choice. I'm very confident I can continue. If I need more help, I know where to go.
Yep.
I I feel like I, have a structured um, path that can give me help. And I don't get on the internet and get confused anymore. I just go, no, yeah, that could help. Or this recipe looks good. And I feel like I have more of a grasp on what I'm looking for and what I want. And
That's
so,
such a great point. Yeah. Oh, I love hearing your story, and I'm so appreciative that you shared all this. I would love for those of you watching, whether it's live or on the replay, I'd love to hear just what stood out to you from what Cindy shared, or if you can relate to any parts of what she's shared. I think it would be interesting for both of us to see what stood out to you and what you can relate to. So let us know in the comments. Yeah, and for anyone who's watching and wanting to get results like Cindy and to go through this process on your own, or just even to talk about what it might look like for you, or if it would be a good fit for you, once we're done here, I'll put a link in the comments where you can book a complimentary call, and that'll just be a chance for us to talk about your own situation and your goals and figure out what next steps would be best for you. So I'll put that link in the comments once we're done here. So I'd love to talk with anyone who's interested. Yeah, and if anything Cindy has said is just like resonated a little bit or piqued your curiosity about what's possible, I think, yeah, I would just encourage you to take that step.
I feel like if I can make these changes, anybody can. And I think, it's something you can do for yourself. And it's a great gift to give yourself. And
I love looking at it that way. I love that you said that, a gift to yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So,
Well, okay, any last words of wisdom or encouragement, Cindy, that you want to share?
no, very grateful, Christina. Like I said, I tried looking here, tried looking there. As a teacher, I think one thing you get good at is looking at your resources
Yeah.
because you want to make sure you've got something good and
Yeah.
worthy to share. And I feel like that you have done a great job of researching and building this program and giving people a good chance to get a better direction and a handle on their eating. And I am so grateful. I really am. And I think
Thank
that,
you.
I'm looking forward to my next decade. As I
Yes.
said, I'm, going to be heading into the next decade. And
That's exciting.
I look ahead and I go, well, what do I want it to look like? And
Yeah.
you've got to prepare now for the things of the future.
Oh, that is a great piece of advice to end on, because you're right. It is helpful to look ahead, see where you want to go, what you want your life to look like, and prepare now. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Cindy, for sharing. And I know it's not always easy to get on and do interviews like this in a public way. So I appreciate your willingness
I
to.
really wanted to pass it on. When you grow and learn and something amazing happens to you, you need to share. And I
Ah,
created
yes.
an opportunity to do it because I hope the best for everyone.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Cindy.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. I think I ended it. Let me double check that it's off air. Never, it's always a little confusing. Okay. Yes, we are all done with there. Ah, well, that was so fun. I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay.